It's such a fucking thing.
Order in the court. I love Taylor Swift. And you do too. Order.
I don't mind her, but it's like, it's a little ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
It is. She's selling fucking rainwater from a concert.
That's
ridiculous. She's like the second.
But like, I think someone did that as a joke. I don't think they were really dead ass.
I also didn't think people were.
Slow.
You didn't think people were slow? You make fun of slow people now?
No, I said.
That's what you just said. So.
Continue.
Do you want me to cut this out?
Yeah.
Not happening.
That just makes you look.
Jackson,
huge.
we're not even on, dude.
I know.
Bro, you really are like the kid from Hey Arnold.
The kid who wheezes.
Yeah, you always like creep up from behind and you're just like.
Joseph's just mad because his door was open, and so I just walked into his house.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that at all. There's a reason why the doors are usually locked.
It's not. It wasn't even that it was just locked. The door was like literally just left open. So I walked inside, and then I put my stuff down, and I was like, "Oh, he's not here," and so he must be upstairs. And then I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, "Oh, he definitely heard me," because when I talk to my mom, I like yell. And then I was like, "Well, what if he doesn't hear me?"
Yo.
I'm gonna go hide. And so I hid with my phone,
stupid.
and I came out from the abyss, and I scared him.
The abyss called the kitchen.
And he was so scared, and then he was mad. He went from scared to mad to furious, and then took my phone, and then I bit him, and then I hit him, and then I used my nails.
You literally just. So basically, what you just admitted to everybody: breaking and entering, and then abuse.
No, I literally was like, "Give me back my phone. You took my phone. That's stolen property."
But I didn't go anywhere with it. So it's not really stolen. I didn't go anywhere with it.
You took it and you weren't giving it back, and that's my property.
You didn't give me a chance to, but you literally just said
not true.
You B&E and you hit me. You assaulted me.
Did I actually?
You just said that. You just told.
But did I
that you
actually
did.
though?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you
That's
did,
not
dude. It was
true.
a straight up WWF match.
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was.
No, I did not.
It was. Are we recording over there? You see the red dot?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It was. It was like a WWF match.
No, it was not.
You were about to get the fucking people's elbow.
Actually, I was like, ooh, he might try to like flip me at any point in time.
It wouldn't take much.
And then I tried to go in with a wet willy, and game over.
And then because you
I
were
dropped
just
his Funkos.
you were being so erratic, you dropped a whole column of Funko Pops.
How did those fall, Joseph?
Because you were banging on the door like a fucking banshee.
No, because you took my phone and you ran into the other room.
Why did I take your phone though? Because you were videoing me while you broke into my house.
Because I said, haha, for once I got you back.
And then
you were so mad that for once I had blackmail on you.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
yeah, that's what it is.
This is going to be our next reel. You know how you post the reels of like me being stupid and whatever else? We finally have one on you.
Then you brought up the fact that you did the Ring doorbell thing, which is fucking hysterical. You did that to yourself though.
It didn't have to go on social media though. So now we're gonna be even.
That's fine. Payback sucks, bro. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
All right. So we're really trying to figure out what to do today. And
so we went to Wildflower again.
And we got a smoothie. And Joseph really likes the smoothie that I get. He couldn't find the one that he like really, really loved. And Yellow Sub is very good. You liked Yellow Sub, right?
I like the one that I got too, but I do like that one. I just can't do banana, and you put too much of the powder.
Protein in it.
Yeah, too much.
So yeah, we do what we do best, and we had an emo lunch, and we went to Wildflower, and we came up with some ideas. And one of the ideas I had was Bougie Palette, and we were like, you know what? Let's keep that one for another week. For the 9th week, 10th week in a row. So yeah, the one that we're doing is
I don't even remember
high school.
High school.
High school. But can we give it like a creative name? Like not just high school. What can we call it? High school.
Not musical.
Dropout. No.
What? You dropped out?
I didn't drop out.
I could tell.
Knock on wood.
No.
High school delinquents.
Delinquents?
I feel like you were a little you talked about we'll get into it. Did we just call it high school?
We'll think of a crafty name later.
All of a sudden you'll see it. But
high school. Although honestly the titles of these are just like the episodes.
I was going to ask you though, should we change that?
No. But we can.
The reason why I was thinking, so on
so you
YouTube,
know what it is.
So you know what it is when you click into it, but also on top of that, like people who are just searching for things to like watch, I don't think if they'll look up like episode like that's not something that they would look up. But if you write like only in Rhode Island,
that's why
someone might be like,
you have to have the thumbnails though.
I know, but when people look it up, like our video wouldn't come up.
Well, that's why you have tags.
Maybe.
And you don't do anything on the back end of our YouTube.
Maybe.
You do socials, kind of.
I do socials. I do sponsorships, okay?
You do.
Facts.
But.
If you come to our event on June 22nd, you will be getting $10 in gift cards to Dunkin'. You'll get some freebies from Narragansett Brewery. And every single person, I put a cap at 50. So every person who comes.
The first 50.
The first 50, I guess. Will be getting a $25 gift card to Massimo, which is a wonderful Italian restaurant on Federal Hill.
Bam.
Very cool. And that's all I have so far, but we're working on more.
That's not bad for a free event. The Eventbrite is in our description.
Mm-hmm.
Although this episode, no, it'll still be June 22nd. Yeah, so this one will come out beforehand. So that's fine. Yeah,
okay.
It's in the description.
So
we can discuss changing the titles if we want to. Yeah.
Okay.
It's as simple.
Let's talk about high school. What was high school like for you, Joseph?
We heard he talked about me for high school.
Not on camera. What did you dress like? What were you like in high school? Were you a jock? Were you
remember
a skater boy?
No, you asked me this before.
I know, but we're doing it for the camera.
We did it on camera before.
Oh, we did it on camera?
Yeah, because you asked. I'm like, I kind of floated in the middle, really. I don't know. Dress was... So you know what's funny is I feel like... I could be wrong here. I feel like the fashion, like trying to wear like the shoes and jerseys and stuff, like that was bigger when I was in middle school. By the time, maybe freshman year too. But by the time you get to sophomore year, everybody stopped caring. Junior, senior year, people were wearing like fucking sweatpants. Like it was like college almost. Like nobody cared anymore.
We couldn't... Can we... Now I'm blanking. I don't remember if we could wear sweatpants to school. I think you could. I don't know. You must be.
Fuck, dude. Right? In West Warwick, every day was pajama day.
Maybe we did. I don't remember.
We had people wearing pajamas and fucking belly shirts.
Couldn't do belly shirts. No belly shirts for
maybe
girls.
Not belly shirts, but pajamas.
No tank tops for girls.
Oh, yeah, the spaghetti straps and shit.
Yep, no shorts for girls because the shoulders are provocative.
Should be equal rules. Right?
So, yeah, there was a lot of... What was academic Joseph like?
Ooh, fucking terrible.
Really?
Oh my God.
Oh, that makes me so sad because I feel like you're so smart. Did you just like not care to try?
I'm not a big homework guy.
So that's a major problem in high school.
Middle school too. Oh my God. Let me tell you.
Your poor mother.
I put her through fucking
What do you
hell.
call her? John? No,
John's my sister. Shout out John.
Barb?
Sister John.
What do you call her?
Babs.
Sorry, Babs.
So I'll tell you about this interaction. So I didn't believe in homework. You know, I'm like, if I'm in school for 6 hours a day, why? And then every fucking class basically is going to give you homework to do later. Nah. So I was really bad with that shit. Projects, yeah. Papers I could do.
How'd you do on like tests and quizzes?
Depends.
Probably not great because you didn't do the homework. That would have been helpful, right?
Not fantastic. But so I think it was 8th grade, and it was like, so in 7th and 8th grade, we had the same teachers.
Okay.
Our core teachers, like history and science and all that shit, they were the same. 7th and 8th grade, so whatever. So I think 7th grade, I barely squeaked by because I failed French. French sucks.
Did you fail it because you didn't do well in the class or because you weren't doing homework? Like,
Both.
did you not do... Okay.
Both.
Did you not do well in classes because of the fact that you didn't do the homework or because...
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Like, if you had done the homework, do you think you could have skidded by with like a B or C?
Yeah, it depends on the class. I mean, I wasn't like... I don't think I was stupid. I don't think so. Maybe
You're so smart though. Like I feel like you're very intelligent. So this makes me so sad. It's like the epitome of someone who's so smart but they don't try.
But you know what though? I know people that also did. I'm not saying that I'm smart or not smart, but I know people that are pretty smart that I would think in certain regards, and they did horrible in school. But because I barely squeaked by in 7th grade, within the first quarter, I was already going downhill in 8th grade. So we had to do this thing, bro. This was the worst.
How did you graduate?
I'll tell you about that story too.
Okay.
So my mother had to take a day out of work, which she was
Pissed.
fucking pissed.
I'm sure.
Because she works in Mass. She works past the stadium, and she lives in West Warwick. So
Yeah.
it's a far drive. So she had to take a day out of work. So it was me, like sitting like this. It was me, my mother, the guidance counselor, and then my 4 core teachers facing this way. And they were just fucking beaten. And you have to sit there and take it because there's nothing you can say. They're telling your mother, and you have to sit there and take it.
What did they tell her? Do you recall, or did you black out throughout the whole thing?
I remember the day. I remember being there. What they said, it was basically just like a trouncing. Like, he doesn't do his homework. He fucks off in class. He doesn't say fuck off, but
Yeah.
he messes around in class. He doesn't apply himself. He doesn't do his homework. And then, dude, it was so bad because then from there on out, I had to like have my agenda planner signed by the guidance counselor.
Like you literally needed someone to like take your hand and walk you through all of high school.
No, middle school.
Okay, middle
because
school.
Like for 8th grade, because it was just so I had to get my like agenda planner signed to make sure I did my homework, and yeah, it was pretty bad. I think that I will say that maybe not all 4, but a couple of them at the very least had this come to Jesus moment because they didn't like it wasn't like I was. There's some students that you just can't help.
Okay.
I think they saw the potential but I don't apply myself. So they had this like, because I was good in math and stuff, but I just didn't do homework.
So you were good in the sense of what though? Like, did you do well during like
I knew
quizzes?
Yeah, like I don't test quizzes like during class. I guess I was okay. I didn't do homework. I fucked around in class.
Were your friends also like not doing homework after school, so you thought it was cool because like you guys all just didn't do homework after school?
I don't know if they. It's not like I did it because somebody else does it. It's just I just didn't want to fucking do it. So then what I was doing even in high school
My parents would have beat me. Just for the record, like my parents would have beat me and then sent me to Turkey. Anyways,
my mother was about to actually.
I'm sure
and it was Turkey. She said specifically. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
School. You just didn't.
So in high school, like almost all 4 years, I was scrambling like in like homeroom.
I wish there was a camera directly pointing towards me so it can just show how many times I've already rolled my eyes.
But I used to scramble in the morning and try to copy people's homework.
Joe.
In like most of my classes. Yeah. Yeah.
You had a completely different
How was
experience.
yours? Like middle school, high school?
What were your grades?
Fuck. Oh, you know what? One time I did post
your report card
from middle school though, and it was bad. It was like mostly D's, F's.
How did you pass?
I don't know. The grace of God.
Did they literally just like sign off? Did you do a senior project? Did you have to do a senior project?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. But there was a few of us.
Just like I wouldn't have done it.
I definitely didn't fucking do it. But see, that came like
so
that
bad.
went all the way into my first 2 years at CCRI. Like I fucked off so bad at CCRI that I had to redo those first 2 years.
Like what a waste of money.
Yeah, it's all right though. But I had to redo those first 2 years, and then all my friends that I went to CCRI with, they left because they did the 2 years and they went to a 4-year school.
Yeah, they got their associates.
Right. Or not even. They just got enough credits to go somewhere else. And I had to redo that to get my grades up to get into Bryant. So I did really good my 3rd and 4th year. And then at Bryant, I did pretty well my last 2 years.
And what did you graduate with?
What, GPA?
Yeah. Do you remember?
From college? From Bryant?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't remember. It was over 3. but I don't remember.
I'll take that from a kid who was failing middle school and high school. Did you get a degree from Bryant?
Yeah.
What was it?
They have like a weird name for it though. It's like a I don't know. I think it's technically a bachelor's of science and business administration, but I double concentrated in marketing and sociology.
Wow, Mr. Smarty Pants, just didn't apply himself in high school or middle school.
Just didn't have time.
Yeah, I had a completely different high school and middle school.
Wait, so you moved? You graduated from Smithfield, but where did you go from middle school to high school?
Middle school, I've been in Smithfield I was in Smithfield since the second grade. So I spent second grade. Elementary school and middle school.
But tried to claim West Warwick.
But I claimed West Warwick.
Out of here.
Yeah, so that's why I met Heather, my friend Heather.
Shout out Heather.
Shout out best friend Heather.
She watches every episode.
She does, and it's really cute. She came over this past weekend and she was like, her and her husband were just like quoting things from, I was like, I didn't even remember we said that because of the fact that we do these so far in advance at this point.
Yeah.
But it was really cute. So Heather and I actually met in the 7th grade. So a lot of my friends come from elementary school, middle school. I had a very different experience. Elementary school, I did really, really, really well. Loved reading. I was always above in every reading level.
Elementary school or middle school?
Elementary. Yeah. Middle school, still really loved reading. I was above everyone else. I was the kind of person who would I just did really this sounds awful, but school was the one thing that I was good at. There was nothing that I was really, really, really good at. I kept on trying for basketball. I was okay. Karate, I was pretty good, but I was always I was smaller in frame compared to the big guys that I would go up against. So I was good, but I wasn't the best.
Yeah.
School was the one thing that no one could take from me. I was very book smart. Street smart didn't have that, but book smart. Shut up. Book smart, I really had, and it was the one thing that I did really well academically. I never got a grade lower than a B ever until college. College is when I got it. So most of the times I had A's. I also had Middle Eastern parents, so if I didn't have straight A's, I had straight A's most years. If I didn't get a straight A, my parents were pissed. I was the kind of person where I would help my friends through certain classes and whatever else. I had people copy off of me. My friend Marissa actually I can't remember if it was organic chemistry or it was some science class, but I would, if one of my friends needed help, I was the one who was here, I
had friends
whatever.
That. Yeah. I mean,
so
those were clutch friends.
Yeah. I mean, I try. She's now a physician assistant, which is really cool. She does really, really well. So
Damn.
I know she went from me helping her in some classes here and there to just kicking ass overall. I have really smart friends and it's kind of cool. But yeah, I just did really well in high school and middle school, and I had National Honor Society, and I was part of all of
that. Shit was not happening.
I was in National Honor Society. I was in the Spanish Honor Society. I doubled up in languages in 2 years.
What did you do?
So I did middle school. So 7th grade is when you could start taking a language. I took Spanish 7th and 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I took Spanish for 6 years. I started taking French my junior year. I wanted to double up. So I took Spanish and French my junior and senior year. I learned junior year. I was really close with my Spanish teacher, and I still am. I go visit her every once in a while. She is amazing, and I loved her. And she also knew French fluently. So I would go to her house in the summer, my junior year, and I learned French to learn the level 1 so that I wouldn't have to do level 1 as a junior in high school. Yeah. So I learned it over the summer. I took a test, I passed, and then I got into level 2.
Oh my God.
I was the exact opposite of what you were.
Wow. Yeah,
Seniors were not senior year. College is when things changed. My freshman year I did really well. Sophomore year not so great. I lived with a really shitty ex, and he was awful, and that took a toll on my grades and just my mental health, just everything. So that was sophomore year. That was when I was about to fail my first class ever. I went from A's and B's, mostly A's, to my sophomore year, like about to fail a class. So I pulled out of that class before the grade would count. And yeah, I got like my first C, I think, that sophomore year. My dad was pissed. I had to fake it. I like hired someone to
my
change
goodness.
the C, I think, into like a B or something. Just so that my dad wouldn't like kill me. And then my junior year I went back up and I did a little better, and then senior year I crushed it and it was fine. But yeah, that sophomore year was like brutal at college. And then I graduated with a bachelor's of science with a major in biology, pre-med, but major in biology with a double minor in psych and chem.
You're like an overachiever. I got 1 C. And Dad got mad. My mother would have been fucking happy as shit if I got a C. C's get degrees. You know what I'm saying?
He was pissed.
I think there's
now grades don't even matter. No one cares about my grades that I got in college.
Oh, that's what I used to say too. Just get the fucking degree and go on from there. But I will say that. So I've been doing this storage shit for
a long time.
Since like 2009.
Yeah.
And so and it's mostly around here. It's mostly like Brown and RISD and PC, Johnson Wales, whatever. The mentality, I feel like there's got to be a healthy balance with school and being like common sense, because we see these kids and they're nice, but they have no life experience, and
you
they're
don't
in fucking
at
college.
that age.
That's bullshit, because that's because you're not working a job and your parents are paying for shit. These kids are like, which is fine, because in theory it makes sense. Just focus on your schoolwork, but then it's like there's like common sense that they don't have. So I feel like you have to have a healthy balance. Like I would rather be like at best 50% book smart. I'd rather have more common sense. I mean, you gotta have a little.
It
bit
depends
of
on your like priorities and stuff like that. So like a lot of people think that book smart comes with school. So you're in college, you focus on college, and that's all we want you to focus on. It's because you're paying. Some people
don't have that luxury.
You're paying like a year, right? Some people don't, and that's a completely different scenario. But you spend like a year's salary worth on school per year, right?
Yeah.
So it's very expensive. So some people think you focus on that and you focus on nothing else, and then when it comes time to work in the real world and be a big girl or big boy or whatever, then you get those life experiences after. Some people are not as fortunate. Like I didn't have to. I really didn't have to work when I was in high school. I mean in college. I didn't have to. I put myself in a scenario where I did because I was in a shitty relationship and I moved out and I did all this.
But even through high school, like, did you work?
Not in high school. I did actually. Well, so tough. I could only work the day that I at 16 years old, I went to, it was a little place called Urban Behavior in the Emerald Square Mall. It was on the first floor. It's now like some bridal store, like Aria's Bridal or something. It's right near the Kay's Jeweler. That's like at the bottom. Anyways, so that was my first job. I walked in. They were like, "Do you have your license?" And I said, "I'm getting it in a week." And so they were like, "Okay, we'll hire you. Just come in when you get your license." I got my license the day that I could, which was at 16 and a half. I graduated high school at 17. So I had a job in high school. My mom didn't want me to. My dad was like, she needs to learn the value of $1. So it still didn't work.
I know. That's so sad. That's so sad.
So I had my first job at 16 and a half. So technically I was a junior in high school and I worked like Saturdays and Sundays or something, like whatever,
which is fine. I think
I wasn't allowed to work during the week. I don't think my mom wanted me to, but 16 and a half I was working.
I feel like it's important, even if you financially can afford to have your kid not work, I think they still have to have a little part-time job.
Well, that's what my dad was like, she needs to learn the value of $1.
And you also
my mom was like, she needs to focus on school.
But you need to learn the value of $1, and you also need to learn how workplaces are. Like,
yeah.
And it could be like a fucking bakery. It could be a coffee shop.
Right.
Anything to learn, like I did landscaping during the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I learned like customer service skills. I think I have this like very firm belief that everyone in the world should work as a waiter or waitress at some point, like in a restaurant at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because you have a completely different perspective on customer service and eating out at restaurants and just like the amount of shit that you get as a waitress. So I think everyone in the world should be a waitress or waiter.
Yeah,
or work in the restaurant industry.
I worked. I did dishes.
Yeah.
Like part time while I was also working at the auto parts store, which is that's another fucking.
Well, that's customer service too. So even though it's not a restaurant, it's customer service. Like I think you should. I think everyone should work in customer service.
Retail. In some sort of retail, I totally
take back
agree.
Restaurants. I mean customer service.
But I think
more
I
general is fine.
totally agree because there's certain.
Wow, you agree on something.
Because there's interactions that like you have in a restaurant. Like I worked in a restaurant, and then like for auto parts, it's like the fucking people, and it's just like the expectation of like, I don't know, like I have a different perspective too. Like I'm very tolerant. It takes a lot for me to like. Snap in a retail environment because I don't take shit personally.
No,
because I've been there. I've been in a shit mood and I'm like unintentionally taking it out on a customer or something. So like I know how that is.
See, I'm the opposite on that because like I did work in customer service and in retail and whatever else. I have your gavel right here.
Mm-hmm.
I did do that, and no matter what, I still like things sucked, something happened, whatever. But I still came to work and smiled because I didn't want to take it out on someone else's day. So there was like this saying. I think it was the restaurant. I think it was my retail, but it's like whatever you have going on, you leave it at the door. When you walk in, it's like different. So I never took it out on anyone. So when a waitress, whoever gives me like attitude, I'm like, listen, I've been here before. Like you do not be mean to me because you had a shit day. Mm-hmm. Like I've been there before, but so I have a different perspective on that. But I do think everyone should work in customer service, at least at some point in their life. In college, I didn't have to work throughout college. But then because of the situation that I put myself in, I did end up working. And that was my first waitressing job. And I worked at the River Falls restaurant in Woonsocket. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's that's actually very much your forte. You would love that.
I feel like that's a judgy kind of a fucking thing.
No, it's just like your vibe. And actually,
you don't know my vibe.
I do know your vibe.
You don't.
I do, but that's besides the point. So there was a bar, like live music side called City Side that was attached to it, and they had bands play and like one of his favorite bands, World Premiere.
Oh my god!
Would
Shout out World Premiere
every single week. Not every single, like maybe every other week. So I knew a lot of the bands that would play there, like World Premiere, The Complaints. The Complaints were one of my favorites. There were just a lot of them, and they would play there like Friday, Saturday, and rotate them out for the schedule.
Heard of it.
Well,
never heard of it.
Maybe we'll go for old time's sake.
Is it still open?
Yeah, that place is still open.
Oh,
it's like one of there's two things in Woonsocket, Rhode Island that are like restaurants that you can eat at. There are Christopher's, which is phenomenal food. It's like farm to table. It's so good. One of my favorite things, which is beyond weird because it's in Woonsocket. The second one is this River Falls restaurant, which is...
I didn't really go into... No venture in.
Okay. There's a really good fish and chip spot right across the street called Ye Old Fish and Chip. It's been around since like, I don't even know.
See, the problem with fish and chips...
1905. And this is where things start to... It only took us how long?
27 minutes.
That's pretty good. I feel like we usually diverge in conversations way earlier than this.
I know. We are getting better.
High five.
I'll take that back.
No. High five me.
Okay. Take that back at the end of class.
Okay.
The fuck was I just saying?
You were talking about...
I don't know, dude.
Hold on. You were going to diverge the conversation.
We don't
fish
have
and
to.
Chips. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let me just throw this out there. The problem with fish and chips is a lot of times it's too battery. And it's like too
much
grease and oil. And then you have it with fry. It's just like, I feel like I'm just eating
greasy.
Fucking grease fried.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What if I made you an air fried version of it? You would like that.
I don't know. I don't trust you in your cooking.
I make bomb food.
I never had it, so I wouldn't fucking know.
You want to come over?
I can't. I'm busy that day.
You're stupid. I do. So they're very popular for fish and chips. This Ye Old English fish and chip.
That's the whole name. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's called Ye Old English. I think it's fish and chip, but Ye Old English essentially. They've been around forever, and they're pretty good. But yeah, so that I worked throughout college, essentially. Bring it back full circle. I worked throughout college from sophomore year on. And I give a lot of credit to people who had to do it from like freshman year on, because
fucking high school guy. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's it's hard to focus on your academics. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. Freshman year, I had one of the like the I know I hit the table
again.
What was the? Oh my God! What are those jobs that you can get from the school?
Oh,
and the school.
Don't count.
Yeah,
those don't count.
Well, I mean, I worked in a science department, so I had to do stuff for them.
That's
what
like
are they called? I can't think.
Fuck, I know what you're talking about. Shit.
What are they called?
Fuck. Yeah, they pay you work on campus.
What is it though? There's a word.
I don't remember. But those don't count though.
Work study. There you go.
Yeah, that don't count. That does not count.
Well, I mean, I worked.
No. No, work like a fucking job. Like a job.
I got paid.
That don't count. I like work like a fucking job. And then like but that's what happened too. Like, and I know when I went to grad school, worst decision in my life. I don't regret things, but if I had
You went to grad school?
I did. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Bryant. Terrible.
Absolutely so wait, terrible. You finished oh yeah, because you finished your like whatever over there and then you went back for
went right into grad school.
Yeah.
And that was a whole I don't have regrets in life, but if I had to pick one, that was a fucking regret. It was awful.
Why?
Not only was it the price of it, so we had to do like you had to take your GMATs, fucking nightmare. Probably did not do well on those. I
was gonna say Mr. Test Taker over here.
Yeah, I mean I'm good like with logic and not really like it, but you had to take your GMATs, right?
Okay.
And I was in communication with that department the whole summer because I had to take my GMATs and I had to do all this shit. And then they do like a 3-day boot camp, whatever. The whole time they were revamping this program and never fucking said anything to anybody. So by the time we showed up at boot camp, which was like 3 full days, and then you got assigned a team, you had to do like a project or a presentation at the end. On day 3, they tell us, oh, by the way, you have to go to Chile in January on a fucking trip, mandatory trip.
Okay.
Mom?
Yoga instructor. Because I feel like that, like almost. I mean, it really is my yoga instructor.
I know, but it looks bad
when you, like when you're like, oh, it's my what's my massage therapist?
Yeah,
like
my yoga instructor.
Yeah. No, it's my yoga instructor. Shout out to Phoenix Rising in Smithfield. They're great.
There you go.
Anyways, continue.
You had to take a mandatory trip to Chile, which was more money.
That's fun, though. Learning experience. No.
I guess that was their logic, but it was more money. The only thing that they paid for was dinner at the very end.
Okay.
So it was more money, and it was mandatory. And they told us after we had already signed up, did our GMATs, did the boot camp, and started. So
you had to do that.
That we had to do that. Now the problem was.
Oh, this is starting to jog my memory of some things. Okay.
So I couldn't. They also were very dumbfounded that people didn't have a passport. Now we're like 22 to 20. Well, some people were older. I think I was like 24 at the time.
Okay.
And they were dumbfounded when somebody had said, well, we don't have a passport. And they're like, oh, well, you need to get it and you need to expedite it. Like it's not like a driver's license.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't have the luxury of, we didn't go on trips. Like we talked about that. We didn't do trips and shit like that. Like I worked.
Yeah.
So I had to get a passport. I had to pay extra money. And it was a 10-day trip. Now I pay my own bills at this point, you know, like my car, my insurance, whatever, cell phone. It was a 10-day trip that I was 10 days out of work, not getting paid. And I'm like, I can't do that because I worked part-time. I didn't have fucking vacation time or anything. My options were to
quit your job,
do the trip, right? Just suck it up and do it, right? And not get paid for 2 weeks. And you know what I mean? Like when you're in college, like when you're paying your own bills, every fucking dollar counts.
Yeah, of course.
Like, that's 2 weeks of no pay. Plus I had to pay extra for this shit. Or leave the program, or I had to go into a part-time program. But the student athletes were given a pass.
Oh, yeah.
So they got to do a separate project, and I was fucking pissed. Not that that's fine. Let them get the pass, but their excuse of playing a sport and my excuse of living my fucking life and paying my bills wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And there was like this weird, and I hate to shit on the school because like my father has worked there for like almost 30 years, if not 30 years. My grandfather worked there.
My dad was an alumni there.
Really?
Bryant, yeah.
We have like strong family ties at Bryant. My grandfather was there for like 40 years, something crazy, 35 years, 35 or 40 years. And I had a good experience in my undergrad, but this ruined it because also some of the professors and whatnot had a very elitist attitude that just did not, and not a lot of the kids, but like they didn't get the fact that the program was very centered towards group projects.
Okay.
And they were like, none of them worked. So when I was like, oh, Tuesday afternoon, night, I gotta work. And it was kind of like, and it's like,
I'm working a job.
yeah, like I have a job. Like I need to go pay my fucking bill. So it was like, it was a disconnect there. And then also with like that department, some of the not all of them, some of the professors, they had this uppity fucking, and that's not my vibe at all. So
We know.
I don't like that shit. I think it's just fucking completely disrespectful and
That's
rude.
so weird that that's the kind of experience that you had at Bryant. I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about Bryant or like
That's
the
the
programs
only
or anything
thing.
like that. So like
Yeah.
the fact that, I mean, there's faults to all schools, right? Like there's things that happen at all schools, all programs. There's rules that don't make sense for some people. Like it's just, it's stupid.
But that to me is crazy that it's like, there was like 5 student athletes or something, and some of them weren't even in season anymore. And they got the pass. They got to do a separate project. And then somebody else in the program leading up to when they were supposed to go on the trip, I think had to go to like the emergency room.
Okay.
And that person was also given a separate project.
But they wouldn't let you.
Nope. Another girl left the program once she found that out.
Really?
Yeah.
After doing all that.
She did the boot camp. She started, left. There was also other shit too, like the dress code and stuff like this.
That
like
she didn't like.
Well, not even that. It was like, I'm paying this money to go to grad school.
Yeah.
Why do I have to sit there in a fucking like suit or, you know what I mean? Like,
so they had you doing that now.
Yeah, and it was
to
fucking.
Get you like in preparation.
But it was crazy because they used this example. This is like the mentality. They used an example to try to say like, hey, there's a dress code here, because people like they're showing up in a fucking hoodie and shorts, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right. I'm paying the money. I'm going to school. They used this example. I wish I remembered the fucking musician's name. Anyway, it was a musician that would like sell out concerts and whatnot.
Taylor Swift. Just kidding.
Not Taylor Swift. And but then he was like homeless, or like would pretend he was homeless and like look very raggedy and play the same music, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
Their moral of the story at fucking Bryant University grad school department was, you need to look the part so people respect you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And that's not the moral of the story. The story was the music was the music. You judged the music from one because of the appearance of that. I was like, that's what you used as an excuse, and they didn't fucking see it. I'm like, bro, this shit does not fucking, it just does not jive with me.
Did you graduate?
No.
You did not.
I went part-time. Did you notice that
I just
tweet?
saw that, yeah.
It's weird. I went part-time.
The universe telling you to go back.
I'm absolutely not. I know people used to say that, like, oh, why don't you go back? And absolutely not. Because I don't want it anymore. And it's like $15,000 to finish, and my credits are probably expired at this point.
Probably.
But I started working. Where did I start? The P. Bruins.
Yeah.
I was working there. And I was going part-time, and then they fucked me on something else too. They didn't drop a class. I asked them to drop a class. They didn't drop it. They left me kind of unread my email. They said, okay, but you got to sign something. Left me unread.
Lovely.
Didn't drop the class. I failed the exam because I was still on the roster. Sank my GPA. Yeah, this is like, it goes deep on this thing.
Dear.
So when I was pretty happy with Bryant and graduating, get my bachelor's, and grad school was a fucking debacle.
Disaster.
But it was a disconnect between the students and the professors, and like working, like a job.
Yeah.
Like I worked, and it's like, oh, we don't care that you have to pay your fucking your own bills. Like, we don't care about that.
The thing that I think like pisses me off the most is when people don't work and then yet they still fail college, and I'm like, how?
If I didn't, I know you should be a fucking straight A
Like
student. At
literally, how does that even happen when you have nothing else to focus on besides school?
Yeah, that's it.
I had a great college experience.
Where did you go?
Suffolk University in Boston.
for 4 years.
4 years.
You
yeah.
went. Oh,
Yeah.
4 years. Sure.
Yeah, I had a great experience. It was supposed to be. I was really, really scared, and I was scared because I didn't want to do like the community dorms of like 15 girls sharing a bathroom. I thought it was really gross. I think I mentioned this in another episode, but I lived with only like 2 other girls. Technically, it was one like room that you would walk into. There was a room to the left with me and my roommate, room to the right with only one girl, and then there was a bathroom. So I only shared it with those 2 girls. And yeah, I had a lot of fun my freshman year and a lot of late nights up until 3 a.m. doing my homework because I
shotgunning Gansets.
Because shotgunning Gansets, did a lot of Gansets in my days. There was the chicken and rice guys in Boston was like my spiel.
Is that where that started?
That's where that started my freshman year of college. I'm still friends with some of my people from college. I actually met Nick through my friend from college.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, most of your people are from like your friends are from like
My
school and like high school and college.
Yeah. I was talking about it with my friend Heather, and I keep saying my friend Heather. I'm just gonna say Heather because now you know Heather.
Do I know Heather?
You know Heather.
Shout out Heather.
I talked about it with her, and she was saying like there's so many times that when you get older, you like put all this extra effort into like new relationships because you're like, oh, this is new, this is fun, like, and you're trying to give it your all, but sometimes those are the ones that like they just don't end up working out. Like sometimes they work, some new friendships work, but sometimes they just don't, and they tend to be like in your life for a short period of time, and it is what it is, and that's kind of it. And she was talking about how she realized when she stopped giving those new friendships like effort, they didn't really come around anymore.
Yeah.
So why is she spending her time on these people when she could be giving it to like us, like her longtime friends who have been friends since like middle school, like people who like love and appreciate her and like will be there no matter what. So we were talking about it because I've had some like disconnect friendships or friendships that have been broken up with that were like newer friendships, like more recently this year. And it's actually not the one you were thinking about.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm thinking. I'm just rolling my eyes, period.
So, and we were talking about like new friendships. And at this point, I think the only new friendship that I have is you.
Why'd you laugh when you said that, motherfucker?
No, so it's you, like Brendan and Margaret, I think are like newer friendships that like I see more like I have some newer friends that like, I mean, like I have them at shoots and stuff like that. Like they're like friends,
acquaintances.
Yeah. But like in regards to like hanging out and like just doing stuff, like you and Heather was like, I haven't actually met Joe yet, but I think from my vibes from him, I think I like him. See? And I was like, all right.
See,
all right.
And what your other friend Nalanda said that.
Nalanda did say that. She was like, a lot of people use Camilla, but I think
that's a whole nother fucking. Well, that's because that's part of your rose-colored glasses and your.
It is. But she said that she liked you. She said, I think I like you.
Yeah. Thanks.
And we'll take it.
I'll take whatever I can get at this
So that's
point.
a good thing. And my mom likes you. I have to sneeze.
No, I haven't actually met moms in person. Just through
the phone. Nick likes you.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I've known Nick for like only a little while longer than I've known you, frankly.
Really?
Yeah, because Nick and I have a like mutual friend. Like it
was somebody you went to college with.
Yeah.
That's his friend.
So he lived on the 6th floor. This guy, his name is Tyler. We would always play like Mario Party and Super Smash Brothers in his dorm room. So like while all the girls sometimes would like go out, there were times where I would skip and I would just hang out with the boys and play like Super Mario Brothers or like Smash because it was one of the boys.
Oh,
so I would hang out.
That's what we call it. That's what we call you.
Well, shut up.
I guarantee it, probably, right?
They were all guys.
I know. You're probably blocking them when you go out though, because you think you're one of them.
Nuh-uh.
No.
Did I?
Like,
No, I definitely didn't do that. They like loved me. I'll show you one of my videos from college. But anyways, I actually have a YouTube video from like my last day of college. It's privated, so you can't find it now. But like I'm like crying in it with my roommate. It's really cute, but it's really sad.
Yeah, the college goodbyes and the college hellos. Oh, it's so awful. I fucking hate it.
I had such a great college experience like my first year. So I think that's why I'm like privy to that. But anyways, so so this kid Tyler and I just always kept in touch after our freshman year of like living near each other, and I would go visit him and whatever else. My mom really loved him. My mom really loved him because there was a day after freshman year was over, and she was going to come pick me up like the next day, but most people had gone the day before. And he like asked me if I would want to ride home, and he would like bring me home since my mom couldn't come get me. And so he brought me home, and he lives in Bridgewater. So like he was driving to Rhode Island, which was like further. And he goes up to my mom after, and he was like, I'm so sorry for not asking for your permission to bring your daughter home. And that was it. Like my mom was like obsessed with him. So still to this day, she like sends him a little message or whatever. And she's like, hi, Tyler. But yeah, so 2019 then, fast forward, he invited me to a Halloween party. I knew no one there. I was dating my ex at the time. I just went solo for no reason besides to like see this one friend. I couldn't drink because my calligraphy was through the roof. I couldn't eat anything there. So I really just like went for no reason. And I saw Nick, and Nick was in a relationship, and that was kind of it. And then fast forward to 2020.
COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, it started a COVID relationship.
Yep. My friend Tyler messaged me, and he was like, hey, we're playing this game called Among Us, and it's on our phones. There's nothing to do right now. Like we need another person. Do you want to play?
I never even fucking heard of it.
I was like, okay. So I played, and I saw Nick again, and I would always kill him in the game, and I just thought it was fucking funny because I do this thing, and I don't do it on purpose, but like when I like someone, it's like, hey Arnold, like I like
you're a little kid who breathes.
No, I'm like me, like a little like mean, not mean, but
like Helga.
Yeah, like Helga. Like I'm like,
was it Pataki? Did I say that?
I think it is
Helga Pataki.
This is a really good memory, but anyways, I think so. Yeah, so I kept on doing that. He asked for an acid wash t-shirt that I was selling.
Oh yeah, you
slid into my DMs and asked for it, and I was like, oh, weird. I gave him a shirt. I thought that was going to be it. We walked, we talked, and then
we talked.
I didn't know I thought it was just like a sale, but he started walking, and I was like, oh, okay, like we're going for a walk, and we talked for like 5 hours.
It was a walk to remember.
That's such a beautiful movie.
That movie sucked too.
Oh my gosh, that's the beautiful. Anyways, we're not getting into. We could talk about that movie in another podcast.
We'll talk about chick flicks on a different one for sure.
Yeah, we'll do that. And yeah, that was kind of it. And then we made another day to hang out, and
it started during COVID.
And I had told him that I was fresh out of it's so weird. I told him I was fresh out of a relationship, like fresh as in like a couple months.
That's a whole nother fucking.
And I was like,
story.
I was like, just so you know, like I don't want to hurt you, and I also don't want to hurt myself. So like,
take it slow.
I need to take this slow. And he was like, that's okay.
Well,
so
COVID was the perfect opportunity to take it slow, kind of.
Yeah. So we just like, nothing happened. We would just hang out, and one thing led to the next after. And then I was like, okay, I feel good about it. Like you're like, essentially you're not a rebound. Like I really actually like you. Yeah. And, that's how that started. And now here we are. 2.5 years later.
God, no, 3.
Well, we've been dating.
Like COVID was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Which feels like it's still.
So we started talking, but date relationship, calling it official 2.5 years. Yeah. Almost.
In the midst of
2021, January 2021.
So really in the fucking thick of the.
Because we started hanging out, just like literally, like I said, I was just like hanging out
because you wouldn't come around anyway because you were part of our draft party, and you're like, oh, we can't ever film with her because she's fucking like stuck in the house or something.
Yeah, I was. My mom was my parents were very scared because my mom has lupus, and my dad has like very severe asthma. So I had always said that if I was the one who made either one of them sick with COVID, that someone would have to send me to Butler. I vaguely
remember that coming
someone
back.
I said someone would need to send me to Butler, and I wasn't joking about that. That's like not me.
I mean, that's a legit excuse. It's just when we did an informal draft.
Yeah.
It was right before COVID hit.
I was first pick.
You were not first pick.
Brendan told me I was first pick.
Brendan was, because he didn't want you to feel bad. You were not the first pick.
Who was first pick?
I can't say it on here. But you were top 5. You were top 5 because we knew who you were. Huh?
I was top 5 out of how many?
5. No, I don't.
This episode's over.
I was like top. Yeah, it wasn't that many. And honestly, we didn't end up doing really anything with any of them.
And now look where I'm at. Number 1, baby.
That's because of
you and I being best friends forever.
No, that's
best
because
friends forever. Have you seen that SpongeBob episode? You watched SpongeBob, right?
I thought I had the floor.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Do the SpongeBob give.
Have you seen SpongeBob?
We're gonna wrap this up.
I know this is long. We went from 30-minute episodes to now an hour. Hold on, let me guess. 56 minutes.
48.
Damn.
49.
Okay. Have you ever seen that episode of SpongeBob where have you watched SpongeBob?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the little toy that like opened up? It was a little trinket and it was like a little mini SpongeBob and a little mini Patrick, and it spun around and it said best friends forever, ding, and it would close.
No.
All
I
right.
don't remember that.
Well, anyways, I'll pull it up.
Do you remember do you remember the episode with the lady with the chocolates?
Chocolates.
That looks like Derek White.
You're so mean.
But every time I
You're
see
done.
him, that's what I think of.
You're done.
Chocolate.
What is he selling? He's selling
Chocolates.
I
remember when they first came out with chocolate. I hated it.
I hated it. Best friends.
That's what I think of.
No.
But we knew who you were. You got drafted, motherfucker. You listening?
Yes.
But you showed up at the thing. Oh no, it shut off.
Does that save?
Yeah, but why did it shut off? Battery probably died.
Dead.
So there it goes.
What do we do? I don't know what to do. I guess let's just
the audio version.
Yeah, we'll keep the audio and then I'll sign off.
Yeah, this has been 50 minutes and the battery died on the camera.
Lovely.
So,
Well, we love you guys so much. I love that for you.
I need my gavel so I can say I hate that for me. And also shout out to Skylar Batz.
Skylar Batz from 121. Shout out to Crazy Neon for our neon signs. And
we got to reach out to them about some stuff.
Yeah?
Crazy Neons, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do. Okay.
And then we have a networking event, June 22nd.
Come hang out with us.
Link in the description.
And I think that's all we have to say. And yeah, I think that's it. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.